Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. I am back in New York because of my TED Talk, and so I'm doing this in my hotel room. So today we have three entrepreneurs who are all marketers. So we're gonna kind of dig in and talk about what struggles they have. And at the end, if you have any questions, just put it in the comments, and we'll answer all of them together. All right. Okay, I'll bring on Esteban. Hi, Esteban. Welcome.
Hi, how are you doing?
Coming on. How's it going?
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with where you're from, your full name, where you're from, and what you do,
Yes.
and then we'll go into questions.
My name is Esteban Librandi. I'm from Argentina. I'm a copywriter, a freelance copywriter, and I've been working with different brands, small businesses, and a coach. And now I'm having uh, people, agencies that work with B2B. And my question or the thing that I'm struggling with is to decide what niche I want to work with. So I like personal brands because of the way that things flow. But I don't I don't know what size of businesses I like to work with. Because they're so different, their needs. And I feel like I want to help everyone, but I don't know. I just don't know what niche to choose.
About what? Okay, so how long have you been doing this now?
A few months,
Okay,
like
and how many clients have you had?
I've had three.
Three clients. Okay, and what do
Yes,
they do?
one is a coach, the other one is a consultant, and the other one is an agency.
Okay, and what do you do for them?
Uh, Website copywriting, landing pages.
Okay, so what part of it do you enjoy, and what part of it do you not enjoy?
Um, I enjoy it, but I like more working with personal brands because you talk to the person itself. And the difference with the agency is that it feels like there's a lot of people to make decisions. So I feel like I don't like that way of interacting with the client.
Okay, and what is the downside, do you think, with working with
Um,
personal brands?
the downside, um, I don't know. I don't see a downside for that. Um,
Okay. So you want to niche down in personal brand, like copywriting for personal
I
brands.
like to work with personal brands. I enjoy it,
Hmm.
but I've received many. Um, there's many people asking me to do like B2B writing or agencies that need copy.
Hmm.
So I don't know if I should take that work or just focus on personal brands.
Is that your main question today?
Yes, because it's what's happening to me today.
Got it. All right, let's think about it. So let's say you went and you did just personal brands versus you did
Yes,
just corporate brands, right? What's the difference?
right.
Like what do you think your life would be like if you only did this versus your life would be like if you only did this?
Hmm. I don't know. I don't know if I like to work with corporate. I know that
What is it
you
you
can
don't
earn
like about
more.
it?
The I feel like it'd be less human. I don't know why. I have this idea, but I don't know. As a matter of fact, so I feel like working with personal brands would be better because of that. human trait, you know, that is more
But
like,
when you work with corporate brand, you're still working with humans.
yes, but I feel like there's less room for creativity, you know.
Okay. Is that the main reason why you're worried about this? Is that the main reason why you want to make sure that you go into the right niche, because you're worried that you're going to go into one niche and later regret not enjoying what you're doing?
Yes, exactly.
Got it. Okay, so let's talk about that. So when I first started Night Owls, my agency, I had zero doubt that I'm not gonna, like, that wasn't even on my mind. I just need to grow this thing and make it successful. That was the only thing that was on my mind. 3 years into it, 4 years into it is when I realized, oh, I actually don't enjoy this. Okay, so that can happen. Even if you think this is the thing, this is the thing I want to dedicate my life to, 3 years later, you might still be like, oh, this is boring. Do you understand what I mean? And that is gonna happen regardless. If you're in client services, that is gonna happen. So right now, what I'm telling you right now is you I'm about to save your life right now. I don't know if you
Okay.
realize that. Because
Okay.
you were about to go down the wrong route. And
Wow.
not because you're making this choice, that not because of that. You were about to go off the wrong route because you are trying to pick a niche based on your passion. That's
Mm.
no matter what happens in the future, you're 100%, 1000% guaranteed gonna fail, and you're gonna be miserable. Do you know why?
Why?
Because right now you're worried about what's gonna make you happy. Like what is the thing that's gonna make me happy? What am I passionate about? That's what you're looking for, right? If you want
Yeah.
to be in client service business, the only thing that you should be passionate about and happy about and find meaning in is putting a smile on that client's face, making that client happy. That should be good enough. It doesn't matter whether you're writing copy, you're babysitting. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Ultimate goal is to put a smile on that person's face and make that person happy and satisfy the client. That is your job as a client service business. If not, you're a freelancer, if you're an agency owner and you don't think your job is that, 100,000% guarantee in 3 years, you're going to be miserable.
Whoa.
Because I built my agency over 10 years to make the top personal branding website agency in the world. Like, if you're a personal brand and you want to make a website, there's no agency better than us, right? So we're in demand. I turn down clients every single day, okay? Yet, I still hate it. Why? Because when you work with clients, you can't do what you want to do. It's
Right.
all about doing if the corporate client wants that, you have to give it to them. Sometimes your personal brand client will give you something you don't want to do too. Actually, most of the time, because when when you're writing for somebody else, it's not the same as you writing for yourself. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. Yes.
So that's why everybody starts out freelancer, and eventually they want to grow their own brand, right? Everybody usually starts out as a coach, and eventually they want to make their own course. Why? Because at some point you realize that client service business is basically. Gigi, can you stop doing that? Can you stop? Because it keeps saying this is the example banner. Click like. Okay, so sorry guys. So what you want to do? What's going to happen is you can either switch or shift your thinking from, okay, I want to do copywriting, the type of copywriting that I want to do, to I don't give a fuck what kind of copywriting I do, as long as I can make the client happy. If you shift your thinking like that, then you will build a super uber successful agency. Okay?
Amazing. Yeah.
But that's one path. The other path is if you're not willing to do that, you still want to do what you want to do, then you got to build your brand. And you got to write for yourself, not for clients. Got it? You see the difference?
I get it. Yes, I
Yeah.
get it.
So that's your real question. Do I want to be in client services or do I want to write for myself? And once you accept that, okay, I'm perfectly happy being in client service, because some people are. And those are the
Yeah.
people that build successful agencies. Once you make that choice, then you got to shift your thinking. And I guarantee you will love it. Because I, whenever I try to have my way in a design, try to get client to accept this design, it makes me miserable. I always get into fights with clients. But then when I'm on their side, when I understand that they're Batman and I'm just a sidekick, I'm a Robin. They're Batman, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're the hero. I'm the sidekick. Once I realize that, and I'm just trying to help people, and all I'm trying to do is just help people, help the client, and that's all I care about. I actually don't care that I'm writing the worst copy or the ugliest design. I actually don't care because I'm making that client happy. Do you understand what I mean? So
Yes, I get it.
okay.
Okay, awesome.
Cool. Thanks for coming on, man. I know you-
No,
this is a
thank
little
you.
bit nerve-wracking. Yeah. Thanks
Yes.
for coming on. Hope this helped, and then I'll see you on Sunday service.
See you, Sam. Thank you a lot.
Thanks, Esteban. Bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, great. So yeah, I talked about that before, but as a recap, that's like a great advice for anybody in service business, because if you're in service business, client service business, you are gonna come across this problem at some point. Because that's why freelancers are always like, oh, I'm sick of working with the clients. I wanna coach, or I'm sick of working with clients. I want to create a course. You know what I mean? So if you don't have that mindset shift, that is gonna happen. Okay, next I'm gonna bring on Carolina. Hi, Carolina. Can't hear you. I can hear you like very, very little. Maybe you have to change your mic to. Like it sounds like you're like behind the wall or something. Like no. Maybe try without the headset.
Okay, can you hear me better
Yeah.
like this?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Is it now loud?
It's okay. I hear you
Okay,
clear. Yeah.
okay, cool. Um, okay, so so we know that personal branding comes from a place of expertise, right? Like you gotta be like good at what you're doing. So right now I'm a journalist and I'm not an expert, and I've been traveling in a pretty interesting way. But traveling is not what I want to be my personal brand around. Like that's not what I want. I want to be my personal brand as a writer.
Okay.
Um, because like traveling has given me all the stories. And I just want to write, like right now I'm writing a book. And I know my skill is decent. Like I haven't done it enough to say I'm a good writer. I just have a decent skill set for that. So you can tell me like, okay, you just need to start writing and put yourself out there, and that's it. Like you have lived to learn
That's
how
what
to
you
write.
want me to say?
Yeah, go put yourself out there. Right? So show that you write good enough to be read.
Hmm. Have you
But
ever written? Like for have you written something? Like
oh,
blog?
yeah, I have. I mean, I have done some posts on my Instagram, but it's like, like my Instagram people is basically friends and family or people that I have met. So they engage because they care about me, right?
No.
But I got an idea. So that's what I want to coach on.
Okay.
So what if I practice storytelling in the way we have practiced in Night Old Nation? right? What if I just start, like, let's say 4 times per week, I'm gonna share a story. I post a reel or whatever, just exactly in the way we've been practicing in storytelling.
Yeah.
Like now on Nation.
Yeah.
Like we do everything because I feel like if people engage, I mean, I will do that while I write the book,
Hmm.
right? Um, because if people engage with that, it means my books are also filled with good stories.
What kind of book?
Um, that's a good like. I'm. I mean, I'm writing. Um, I'm not pretty sure if I want to exclusively write literature or nonfiction. Like, like I have both. Like, because I'm a journalist, so I have stories, like, for example, about Turkish baths.
Well,
Like,
you're a journalist, so you write. So you write as a journalist. So you write articles and things like
I do
that.
both. I do
Okay.
both,
Okay. So that's
right?
your day job. Your day job is a journalist.
Not really. Like, I
Okay.
don't, I've been traveling for like 1 year. So for the
Did
last
you
year,
study journalism?
yeah, I went to
Okay.
school.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Okay.
So, so my question is, do you think it's worth trying, like, this strategy,
Mhm.
like, just put the stories out there and get really good telling stories? So I know my book is also filled with good structured
Yeah,
stories.
yeah, yeah. What do you ultimately want to do? Do you have
Um, like with life in general, or the message I want to send with the stories.
both? I mean, that to me, those two are same.
Yeah, so I want to write. Like that's
You just want to write. You want to put your writing out there in the world for people to read.
yes.
That's what you want. That.
And but I know,
Mhm,
well, that's gonna be another question for
mhm.
later. Because I also don't want to look like a motivational speaker. you know but all the lessons or all the message that I also want with my stories, or the reason why I want to share my stories, it's because for the last 3 years I've been living in uncertainty. So that's what I'm, let's say, expert
Wait,
on.
when you say uncertainty, meaning like you've
Like,
been traveling a lot, or
yeah,
okay.
yeah, I've been traveling, and let's say I've been traveling, not because I say, okay, I want to travel the world. It's basically because I have faced situation that put me out there. And for example, the last 6 months, I start posting, okay, out of nowhere, I'm going to Europe, and then people start reaching out saying, hey, I'm in Europe too. Do you want to
Mhm.
come and visit? So that's how I've been. Like my life has changed. Like every 2 months, I've changed of routine and life and everything. And if you ask
Where
me,
are you now?
I'm in Colombia right now.
Is that where that's home?
That's home. Yeah, that's
Okay,
home.
okay. Let me
Um,
ask you something.
mhm.
Um, can I ask how old you are?
I'm
I don't.
25.
Okay. So you finished school and you literally just been traveling
Yes.
almost. Okay. And I've been seeing your Instagram, so I see all your travel photos. This is amazing. Now, during this time, have you been writing anything like
Yeah.
diary, journal, anything like that? Where?
Yes, I have.
What have you written?
Um, so basically, I have written the stories of the people I have visited. Like, because they were friends from high school or college.
Where did you write it? Like
Um,
where?
some of them on Instagram or
Got it.
just,
Got it. Got it. Okay.
yeah.
Do you write on anything else? Medium, Twitter,
No,
anything else? Okay. You
I
have a blog or
that's
anything?
the thing, because I could create a blog or something,
Hmm.
right, and just put
Yeah.
myself.
So I'm gonna tell you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Writing is the original medium, right? Before there was videos, anything like writing was the first medium, right? Because before writing was just talking, right? So writing is the thing gonna be the one is the hardest to get recognized, get recognition in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, for example, if you love to make videos, it'll make my job a lot easier because you can grow a lot faster with video than with a blog. Like there's no way you can grow a blog within 3 years. Like, it's gonna take you at least 3 years. But I can grow a TikTok in 6 months. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
And that's because you're going after a specific audience, and it takes time for an audience to fall in love with you, because it takes time, it takes patience for them to actually read, because people don't read these days, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, when they do have an interest and they start reading, that's when you're going to get them, right? That's why it takes a long time.
Mhm.
Now, you're 25 years old. You're a baby. You might not think so, but you are, okay? Like, there's no, like, even within the next 5 years, there's really no reason why you should know what you want to do with life. What if you want to be this type of writer, that type of, like, there's no, like, stop with all that.
Mhm.
First of all, because the only thing that's gonna do, it's gonna block you from really achieving something. Okay, so first, number one, stop that. Number two, so number one, just have faith that the right niche, the right mission, the right why will
Mhm.
automatically come to you in time.
Mhm.
It could be in a year, 5 years, maybe 10 years. We don't know yet, but it will come to you. Just have faith in that, number one. And so, and how do you make sure that will happen? Is first thing I'm going to say is, put the book on pause. Do not write a book right now.
Okay.
You're not ready. I guarantee you. Like, 99.99999% of first-time writers are not ready. Writing a book is really an ego thing for most people. They
Okay.
just want to say, "Oh, I'm an author. I'm a best-selling author. Oh, you can buy my book." Like, it's just an ego. Like, what the fuck? Like, it doesn't matter if, like, only 1,000 people read it, right? Like, so there's no point writing a book unless you already have a following.
Mhm.
Okay, and then once you have a following, you write a book, not so that this book will spread your message or actually grow your brand,
Mhm.
but because it's the easiest format that people can be like, I'm a fan. If I'm a fan of you, like, oh, I love writing, like, reading your stories, and blah, 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 I'm a fan of you. I'm gonna go to Gigi and be like, oh, Gigi, I got this book for you. Do you understand what I mean?
Mhm.
That's what a book does. Or somebody comes over to my house and somebody's like, oh, hey, what's that book? I'm like, oh, this is from Carolina. It's like, oh, it's about her story, blah, 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 blah. Like, that's why a book is powerful. But it's
Mhm.
not powerful as a marketing tool on its own.
Mhm.
It's a powerful marketing tool as a word of mouth.
Yeah.
Because for me to be like trying to explain your thing versus it be like, just read this, it's just much more effective, right? So that's why don't write a book until number one, you know exactly what message you want to put out in the world,
Mhm.
and you have an audience already that wants that. And number three, just remember that the only reason for the book is that. And without the book, you can still do it.
Mhm.
I don't have to write a book to spread my message. You know what I mean? I am going to write a book at some point, but I don't. That should come last, in my opinion.
Okay.
Now, this is the most important thing. What do you think writing is? Because you said you're not, very skilled in writing, or you're right. You've been writing, but you're not like an expert or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, what do you think writing is? Like, what skill do you need to be good at in order to be a good writer?
Um. Well, when I said that I'm not good enough, it's because I haven't done it consistently or I haven't published anything. But for me, writing, it's
Have you
basically,
ever written without publishing, like write for yourself?
I mean, my aunts and my mom and my friends, like,
Do you
or
write a diary?
the one.
A diary? Like, do you write
Um,
journals or diary?
I do it, but it's not consistently.
Okay.
So people who have read it, like, they are engaged and they tell me how much they have enjoyed reading it. So for me, writing is basically that skill of like expressing what's within you and do it in a engagement way.
Okay. You say you wanted to do what we're doing at Night Owl Nation, which is we practice storytelling once a week.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I think that's a phenomenal idea, and you should 100% do it. I don't know why you're not already doing it. And the reason why I said that is because, okay, you don't need any writing skills to be a good writer. You actually don't need, you don't even have to speak English to be a good writer,
Mhm.
to be honest.
Mhm.
Okay? Imagine this. Imagine this person lived his entire life in his house for 25 years, never left his house, never had any friends, just left, didn't do anything. He just left a safe, boring life in his house, never did anything. But he wrote every single day. And now here is a person who's been through some shit, like Anthony Bourdain, right? Ate some shit, traveled the world, got heartbroken, bunch of shit happened, got ripped off, almost died, okay? But has never written anything in their life. Who do you think will make a better writer?
The second one.
Even though that person has never written before.
Mhm.
Ultimately, and the reason why is because writing has nothing to do with technicality of grammar, what your vocabulary. None of those things have anything to do with writing. Okay, that's why I love that you have a journalism background, because in my opinion, journalists are the best writers, because journalists have to take an everyday thing that's happening and write a story around it that's relatable, that people can understand, right? So almost every nonfiction book you see, the best nonfictions are not made up. I don't know if you noticed that. Like, usually the best nonfiction books, the stories that happen in that book are usually things that happen in the author's life that they've just created a character out of. And like, but that's why it's so good, because it's real. It's real human emotions, right? And this is what I'll say. Writing is living. So you can't be a great writer until you've went out and done some shit, which is what you did for the last 2 years. Okay.
Yeah. It's
What
not
I
a
hope you did,
real shit.
what I wish you would have done is write every single day, whether you're gonna post it or not. I wish you had written every single day for the last 3 years, because if you did for the last 3 years, the Carolina that I'm talking to today will not be the same Carolina. You would be a completely different person today than you are now, because you didn't just go out and experience these things. You went out, you experienced these things, and you reflected on them, you thought them through, and you grew from it, and then you kept doing that over and over and over. Imagine you do that for 3 years. I guarantee you there's 1,000 masterpieces inside there. You know, the time when I didn't trust the time when I went to Jamaica and I was trying to get some weed, and this guy drove me all the way to the waterfall like 30 minutes away, and I'm in my head, I'm thinking like, am I gonna die today? Like, is this how I die? Like, just all of those little things that happen to you, like, or getting heartbroken or getting betrayed, like all of those human emotions, turn it all into stories and keep writing. And in this process, two things are going to happen. One, you're going to learn more about you. You're going to learn more about the world and humanity around the world, how people are. And then you're going to be able to connect the dots between where do I fit in this world and what is my purpose. And that will become crystal clear to you once you've done these reflections. You know what I mean? That's number one. The second thing that's happening is, if you imagine you were writing diary every day before you go to sleep, and you posted it on Medium, or you posted it on Instagram, or you posted it on Twitter, or whatever it is, right? Or then that'll actually start growing an audience too. And this audience has gone through your journey, has gone through what you've gone through. It's almost like they're learning with you and things like that. And then 3 years later, you write a book that will become a bestseller. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes. Yes, totally.
So what I'm doing at Night Owl Nation, that's exactly the reason why I'm doing it that way, where we force people to write stories, even though they don't want to. And then we tell them to share it. And then we ask them to post it on social media. You do these just writing and posting, writing and posting, writing and posting. You did this long enough, like all of your answers in life will be solved. Like I really believe that. Like you want to know what your mission is, what's your why, what's your passion, what's your niche, what's your strength, what's your weakness, what do you want to do? Like all of those answers that you have, it'll get answered when you do that. And what's even more amazing is that you'll realize that you had all those answers inside you the whole time. The whole time you've been going out looking for these answers, the whole time the answer was right inside you.
Mm-hmm.
And all you had to do was just keep writing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me see if I got you straight.
Mhm.
So, you suggest me to first like stop writing the book until I have, like just later.
Nothing, yeah.
But I still want to be that brand, right? And you suggest to keep, like start doing the storytelling thing. But how do I do it in a way that I actually grow? You know what I mean? Because probably my friends are gonna see the stories, but then
You are gonna grow, I guarantee you.
okay,
But,
so
but don't worry about that, right? Like so many people asking me that question at Night Owl Nation right now. How do I connect this to my business? How do I actually know I'm improving? Blah blah blah. I guarantee you, you're improving.
Oh.
Every week, every time you write, you're improving, whether you know it or not.
Mm-hmm.
If you just do what I tell you to do, without even focusing on am I doing it right or not, you just keep writing every day for a year, you're gonna look back in that first story that you wrote day one,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna read it and you're gonna be like, holy fuck, that was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what's gonna happen. And the reason why that's gonna happen is the human brain is the most smartest supercomputer in the world. You
Mm-hmm.
take the fastest computer in the world, that computer is an idiot compared to the human brain. That's how brilliant the human brain is. The human brain is so brilliant that if you do something bad, if you write something bad, or if you make music something bad, and you know it's bad, in your heart you know it's bad, and you keep doing it over and over and over, day after day after day, your brain is so smart that it can't handle that. And your brain will automatically come up with new ideas, and your brain will improve on its own because your brain can't handle keep doing bad shit over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll automatically happen. Now, if you want it to happen even faster and more, that's what we're doing at Night Owl Nation, right? Like that's the reason why I have a lot of people do it, and I have them share so they can recognize patterns that they're seeing. And I train the small group leaders so that they get better at giving feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, if we have a community of, let's say, 1,000 people, and we have 100 people like that, then even if the 900 people are just writing, they don't know what they're doing, these 100 people will give them the tips. They'll give them the pointers to make sure they're not going the wrong way. But you don't even have to worry about that, because there's nothing that you do, if you do it consistently long enough, that you won't get better in. It's
Mhm.
just it's just impossible for you to do something for a long period of time and not get better at it. That's just humanly impossible. If you ride a bicycle for a year, you are just going to get better at it, even if you don't try. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So do you think should I focus on the message or
No,
should I come
don't
out?
focus on the message at all right now. Right now, because you didn't do this for the last 3 years, the next 3 years of your life, the only thing you're doing is you're not trying to come up with a mission, anything like that. you're just pouring your heart out, your thoughts out, and you're writing in the most vulnerable, honest way possible.
But for
Right?
example, the stories that I already have lived. You know what I mean?
Well, let me finish.
Okay.
So,
Sorry.
write in a way where it's the most vulnerable, and write as if nobody will ever read this. Okay, because that's when the best stuff is going to come out, and that's when your authentic self is going to come out. Right now, if you are planning to travel again in the next few years, I would like you to write as it happens, right? Because there's something about that moment where as soon as it happens, you write, something comes out that wouldn't come out if you write about it a year later, looking back. Do you know what I mean? It's a different kind of writing and come out. So I would advise you to do both. I would advise you to write about things that are happening to you day to day right now. Like if somebody called you an ass, some stranger called you an ass, or somebody like splashed water all over you, like fuck your asshole. Like write about that and all your emotions, and just be honest with yourself. Honest writing, right? You do that. But I also want you to once in a while go back in the past and try to bring those up and write about that too. Because sometimes something that you thought one way before, you might have changed your mind now. Like, just remember this, right? Every time where you write, you're thinking. There's no difference between writing and thinking. Writing is thinking, okay? Every time you're writing, you're thinking and you're reflecting and you're organizing and putting it back in your brain, right? So a piece of fact just became more clear to you. Part of the world just became a little bit more clear to you. But once you've done that, you're not the same person. Like, that was Carolina before, and now you've done this. Now you're the new Carolina. But now you're going to reflect back as the new Carolina, and then you're going to do that, and now you're a different Carolina. So every time you do this iteration, you become a different person. And through this, you actually find out who you are. And that's why don't worry about finding these. Just write the most honest stories you can today and things that happened to you in the past, and see the dots connect. You're like, holy shit, like, oh, like when I look at my life, like that's what happened to me. Like, oh, when I actually look at my entire life, okay, number one, one thing I know that I do that I don't know that nobody else does is my natural instinct to I can't let go of things. Right? So if I'm solving a puzzle and the person's like, I'll just give you the answer, son. Like, no, give me the answer. Like, I can't let it go. I have to figure it out, right? Or if I'm coaching somebody like this, and you say, and most coaches will just be like, oh, just the standard questions, blah, blah, blah. But if there's something about you that I'm curious, I don't understand, I won't just let it go. I will stop you and be like, wait a minute, let's go back. And I do that. I things need to be clear for me. I don't like when I don't know this. There's a hole here. There's a hole here, right? And I knew that personality hurts me in some ways, like in dating, it hurts me, right? Or just building friendships. But it helps me in other ways, like in coaching or working with clients and things like that. So what's going to happen is you're going to find out so much about yourself, the things that you do. Why did I do that? Why do I keep doing that? Why do I keep making this mistake? Why do I keep, a lot of girls say that, like, oh, I keep dating these assholes, and it's like, like I keep, like I tend to attract assholes. Right? That's what they say. A lot of girls say that. Like, I'm like, you know what? Maybe you should start practicing storytelling, because you know why you're attracting assholes? Because you don't know that you're doing this over and over and over and over again. And the reason why you're doing this over and over again is because you have this trauma from childhood that you've been carrying with you this whole life. And you keep saying, oh, asshole, I'm never going to date an asshole again. And then you go for the asshole again. And it happens again. That's, to me, that's a sign of somebody who hasn't reflected, who hasn't story told. Because somebody who's been storytelling, who's been reflecting, who's been thinking about their thoughts, they don't think like that. You know what I mean? They fix themselves.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I got you, and I'll start tomorrow.
Yeah, and just right now, don't worry about what book you're gonna write 3 years. Don't worry about any of that. Every single day, your 100% of your focus should be, what can I write today about emotions that I'm going through
Mhm.
in the most honest way. That's all.
Okay.
And I want you to do this. I
Mhm.
want you to write every single day. And if you have nothing to write that day, just write, I have nothing to write today.
Okay.
And then just like, but keep writing, see what comes out, right? And pick one medium and publish it there every day. What I would recommend is emails. What I would recommend is to collect email addresses. What is that one platform that a lot of writers use? It's like a newsletter platform.
Monkey chop or something like that.
No. It's a big one. No, it's not Medium. It's like it's a newsletter app. Let me look it up. Newsletter app. Oh, I forgot. If I find it, it's like it's like a social media. It's one of those social media newsletter publishing app. Yeah, if I find it, I'll let you know. But basically, what I want you to do is I want you to collect emails,
Mm-hmm.
and every day just send out an email.
Okay.
And if you have nothing to say, hey, I have nothing to say. I just did this, and I'm feeling like this.
It's just
Cool.
random.
Oh, Substack, yes, Substack. So, Rob, thank you. I
But
would recommend using Substack.
or is I just ask people if they want me to email them.
Well, you just send them your Substack, and they'll subscribe to your Substack. That's why I
Oh,
said use Substack, because if you use Substack, basically what happens is they subscribe your Substack, and every time you post something, they'll get an email.
okay.
You know what I mean? Or you can just use like ConvertKit, MailChimp, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Have a page there. Like, maybe this should be your first project.
Okay.
For the next month,
Mm-hmm.
and share this in your small groups if you want to. For the
Mm-hmm.
next month, just keep writing every day about, just go through your entire 3 years of travel experience from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, really go deep and keep thinking, and just keep writing every day about your experience for the next 30 days. And what you're going to realize is that, oh, there's a pattern here. Like, everywhere I go, I learn this, or there's some sort of pattern there, right? Then you kind of know what you're sharing now. Okay, like, I'm sharing everything that I learned. I'm sharing everything that's going on my thoughts. I'm sharing like everything I learned about human emotion. Whatever you're sharing, you know what you're sharing, right?
Mm-hmm.
From that point on, once you've done that after a month, now go create a landing page with ConvertKit, MailChimp, or something like that on mail newsletter, and write something there. Write your letter of intent.
Okay.
Write your mission, right? Hey guys, I've been traveling for the last 3 years, and for the last 30 days, I've been writing, and all of these thoughts have come to my mind, and I want to share them with you. And I think through this, I think you're going to learn this, and how it's going to help you, and how it's going to help me. And this is like, come join me on my journey.
Mm-hmm.
Put some pictures, your travel pictures in there, and then have the email. Put your first name and email there,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll get. And once they do, every day they'll be getting an email from you.
Okay.
And every day you're going to write something, even if it's short.
Mm-hmm.
You keep doing that long enough, like, your book will come out of there, all your content will come out of there, your mission, your why, everything will come out of there.
Yeah. Okay.
And what I'm asking you to do is basically the thing that we're doing at Night Out Nation already, but I'm asking you to do it in like hyperdrive. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
take that and like really, really do it, right?
Okay. And post it, like for example, Instagram, or don't worry about
I
it.
would pick one platform. So,
Okay.
and I would recommend using email. Like I said, like, collect email addresses and send out email. And out of there, if you're like, oh, this is a really good one, I want to post this on Instagram, do it. take a photo, put a caption, and do it. Like, why not, right? Because that's gonna just help you get more audience, right? And then from Instagram, send people to your Substack, send everybody to your landing page where you collect the email, right? And the reason why I keep saying email address is because I guarantee you write email every day. A year later, you should have like 10,000 people in your mailing list. 3 years later, you should have like 100,000 people in your mailing list. And once you have that, you can write a book and boom, like be on New York Times bestseller overnight. Do you understand what I mean? That's how every famous writer does it.
Cool. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're walking on with some good shit right here. This is gonna so help you.
Yeah, it's super helpful. Like, because it's hard to start. Like your ego and like you're kind of lost because you want, you want audience and you just want to put yourself out there.
Yeah. No, that is the hardest part, right? It's a delaying gratification is the thing that most people can't do. Like most people can't grow a business because I want to use this money to buy a private jet. I want to use this money to buy a nice house. Like, you know what I mean? That's why they can't make business. Most people can't become a good writer because they're like, oh, I want to get this many followers. I want to be New York Times bestseller instead of actually writing. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that's just one thing I always say to everyone. Just be careful whether you want to be whatever you want to be, whether you're a writer, actor, whatever, storyteller, marketer, whatever it is. Do you want to be that thing because you like the idea of it, or because you like the action of it? Like, meaning there are people out there who actually love numbers. They love numbers, like working with numbers, pattern recognition, and things like that. And that's why they love going into finance, because they love forecasting numbers and things like that. They don't care about 3-piece suits or the salary or anything like that. And then there are people who just wants to be in the banking industry so that they can wear their nice suit, drive their Ferrari, go to that Wall Street bar, and tell everybody that they're a banker. They don't give a shit about numbers. They don't care about finance. They don't actually care about the thing. They like the idea of it. There are people who are motivational speakers because they just like the attention and blah, blah, blah. And then there are people who are motivational speakers because they actually want to make impact. There are people who create courses just because they want to be like rich or whatever. And then there are people like me who create courses because I actually want to teach. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
And that's such a crucial thing that you need to know, because nobody who's doing it because of the idea of it will ever succeed. You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay.
Cool.
So much.
Awesome. I'm so good to see you. I'll see you in Sunday service, and
Yeah.
Of
course.
Keep going. Bye. Thanks, Carolina. Okay. Let's do some questions. The last person didn't show up, so is there any questions, Gigi?
Yeah. Rob, what do you think is the key factor that caused this?
Okay, Rob, what do you think is the key factor that caused your success? Okay. I think everybody can be successful as long as they know what they're good at and what they're not good at, right? So I think for me, it's what I said before. I have this tendency to not just let things go. For example, most people, when I watch a movie with them, usually when we watch a movie afterwards, we'll go to dinner and we'll talk about it. And I'll be like, hey, remember that part where he said this? Or remember that when this guy did that, and that's what, and they're like, oh shit, I missed that. So when I talk about movies with people, what I notice is that usually people, when they watch a movie, they didn't understand the movie in its entirety. Meaning they didn't understand every word, every nuance, every line, every last detail of that movie. Maybe they understood about 50% or 60%. But even if you just understand 50 to 60%, it's still a good movie, and they still understand the movie and that. But you missed out on this what makes that movie great, on the little nuanced details, right? So I don't let this go. So many times when I'm watching a movie or interview or YouTube video, what I do is I'll pause. Oh shit, I missed that. I'll go back and I'll re-listen. And like people around me find this so annoying. They're like, oh, let's just watch it. Like, why do you have to keep going back? Blah, blah, blah. It's because I can't let those things go, right? So if I ask a question to somebody and they just give me some like beat around the bush answer, I can't let it go. I have to dig in. I have to get it out. Okay. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was successful, is because when I make a website, most people just make a website. Okay, boom, design, blah, blah, blah. I don't just do that. I break down every tiny detail and I figure out what in every part of this, how can I make it the best? And I just don't let it go, right? And that's why the websites that we create are masterpieces. But at the same time, I noticed that side of me actually hurts me in sales. Because when you go into sales, the thing that's going to make you lose that sale is when you talk too much. Like, you can actually talk yourself out of that sale. And that's what I kept doing. Like, because the client was about to sign, but I'll be like, wait, don't, like, I can't let things go. So wait, like, we need to talk about this, blah, blah, blah. So the client was going to sign the contract and I scared him away or something like that, right? So I understood that it doesn't work in sales, but I understood that it works in sales. So I think the real success is not just having a strength in something, but really, I think what it is understanding what your strength is and how that's also a weakness. And understanding that, okay, I need to use this as a strength to do this, but I need to suppress it in this when I do sales, and I need to hire a salesperson to do that. Like, so understanding that your strength is also your weakness, I think, is the more important thing than like actually knowing what your strength is. Next question. Shishir, how to start learning storytelling as a complete beginner? Okay, that's the thing. There is no such thing as beginner. Everyone's a storyteller, right? When you were 5 years old, you went to your mom and like, mom, look what happened. Hey, blah, blah. You were telling stories when you were 5 years old. So you can't be a complete beginner. So the what I would say is the advice that I gave to Carolina, right? Just write every single day. Even if it's bad, it's a bad story, just write every single day and you will get better at it. And you know what, actually? Anything that you put your attention on, you will get better at. It doesn't even matter. Because like for me, when I really have a lot of passion and care about something and I put my attention on it, I start to notice like all of a sudden, if I care about storytelling, when I watch a movie, I'm like, oh, they did storytelling like that. I'm going to recognize those things. Or when I watch a YouTube video, I'm going to be like, I'm going to look for storytelling things and things like that. Another thing is just join Night Owl Nation. Because if you join Night Owl Nation, we do storytelling. We practice storytelling every week in small groups, and we share, and then we get feedback. So I literally think it is the best way to do it. Okay. Is there any other questions, CG? It's all good? Okay, cool. Okay, thank you everyone for watching this long podcast. We'll be back next week. We're going to continue to do this. If you want to be a guest and if you want to get on the hot seat and get coached by me, just go to sunyi.co, sunyi.co/guest, and you can apply to be a guest there. This is only, by the way, this is only for Night Owl Nation members. So if you're not a member, you won't be able to apply. So thank you again. Have a great week. See you guys next week. Cheers. Bye.